Brilliant, thanks, Wendy. Just want to say a couple of words up front and then I'll hand over to Sue Campbell. So we are absolutely delighted to be formally welcoming Sarina on board. She is clearly one of the best coaches in the world and will be a fantastic part of our senior team. The calibre of applications we received for this role shows how far the women's game has come in England. This was a very, very highly sought after role. The credit for that must go to Phil and the Lionesses with their performances over the last few years, including the victory in the She Believes Cup, and most importantly, their journey in the Women's World Cup in France, where they engaged the whole country. They narrowly lost the semi-final. So we had some great applications, but Sarina was the outstanding candidate throughout the whole process. We were impressed with her every single stage, and Sarina was unanimously our first choice. So we're absolutely delighted that she'll be joining us next year. We've got a really exciting period coming up with Sarina leading us into a home Euros in 2022, then immediately into a Women's World Cup in 2023, and then another Euros in 2025. Our ambition is really clear, to win a major tournament, and we believe that Sarina will give us the best opportunity to do that with the Lionesses moving forwards. So thank you for joining us. I'll now hand over to Sue Campbell.
Hello, everybody. I hope you can hear me. I'm delighted that you've all managed to join us this afternoon, and I welcome you all. I would like to add my welcome to Sarina on behalf of the players, the whole support team, and everyone working in the women's game. We're really excited to have you on board, Sarina, and we look forward to working with you and to developing the squad that we have. Mark referred to the fact that Sarina was our unanimous choice. And I just thought there were two attributes that I would pull out to help you understand why she was the choice for us and why we felt that she would fit perfectly with our culture and our squad, building on the work that Phil has done and will continue to do over the next year. Number one, Sarina is a people person. She's a PE teacher and a coach. And she's easy to talk to, which you will discover shortly. She's very caring. And in her interview, she made it very clear that she places great importance on building the right relationships with both her players, her support team, and the people involved in the game. For Sarina, people matter, and they do to us too. And that made our match really important. The second attribute is that Sarina is steely. She's a winner. She pays enormous attention to detail, whether she's planning a game or looking at player insight. And that came through very strongly in her interview. We know she will provide honest feedback, and she is going to be very happy to take those tough decisions when they have to be made. Finally, she's proven that she can stand toe-to-toe with the very best in the world, technically and tactically. We're really excited to have you on board, Sarina, and we think you're the perfect coach to take the baton from Phil in a year's time and to continue to develop the squad towards the goal of winning a major tournament. Welcome. It's now my great pleasure to hand over to Sarina.
Okay, well, Sue and Mark, thank you very much for your nice words. And nice to meet you, media. I hope we can build a strong relationship and we can support our fans through you, hopefully with good matches. I'm very delighted and very honored that I'll become the manager of the England team from 2021. And I'm going to do everything what's in my power to do the best I can do with the players, with the organization and with the staff. But next year I'm still the coach of the Dutch national team to the Olympics. And I hope today I can answer all your questions. And after that you'll respect that me working for the Dutch team.
Thank you very much, Sarina. Okay, we'll start moving to questions now. As I say, if you could raise your hand if you have a question for Sarina, and if you would introduce yourself and your organisation to Sarina, that would be extremely helpful. Obviously, once you've asked your question, if you could remember to take your hand down, otherwise I may come to you again by mistake. Okay, let's start with Dan Kilpatrick.
Hello, Sarina.
Hi.
My name's Dan Patrick. I'm a reporter for the London Evening Standard. Congrats on the job. In this country, it was quite a big deal when the men's team appointed Sven-Göran Eriksson as a first foreign coach. Obviously, we're a bit more used to it now. But I just wondered, from your point of view, does it feel slightly strange potentially coaching a nation that's not your own? And how did you feel about that? And was that kind of part of your thinking when you were applying for the job?
Well, first of all, when I started coaching, I wouldn't think that this would be an opportunity. So I'm really happy that I get the opportunity to coach abroad. And strange, well, that's not the right word, I think. I think it's different. It's challenging. And yes, it is another country, but I'm now a professional coach. And although I have to leave the Dutch, and we've had a very nice journey, hopefully I can be successful with the England team after 2021.
And do you think it adds any extra pressure, the fact that you're not an English coach?
Well, I think there's pressure anyway. The England team has done very well. They've had major performances the last 3 tournaments. So there's pressure anyway. It's just the way you act about the pressure, and you just have to prepare and do anything that's in your power to perform well with the team.
Thanks, Sarina.
Thank you, Dan. Could we go now to Rachel from Girls on the Ball?
Hi, Sarina. I'm Rachel from Girls on the Ball. Welcome to England. I don't know what the stat is, but I can't imagine many coaches have had the chance to do 2 home Euros. Do you think your experience of coaching the Netherlands through the 2017 Euros will give England an added advantage in 2022 in terms of managing expectation and pressure?
Mm-hmm. I hope. I went through that process with the national team of the Netherlands. So I have this experience, and of course I can use this experience. We have the time from September 2021, and we'll need that time and get a quick start with the staff, the organization, and with the players. And I have the experience what it does in the country, what challenges you have, and also what for opportunities it gives. So I'm pretty much looking forward to it.
And
very much.
As an international coach, you normally have a tournament year, and then in between years you focus on qualifiers. But due to the current situation, we're potentially looking at back-to-back tournaments if the Olympics happen again. How exciting is that for you as a coach?
Well, that's the part of your job that makes it so exciting. Playing tournaments, most of the people don't see what you do to get there. It's a lot of effort, it's a lot of hard work, a lot of choices you have to make. For the players, of course, they have to work hard every day, but it's the same for the staff. But when the tournament starts, then it's like, getting these experiences, making actually, and hopefully with good results. That's what you're doing.
Thank you. Good luck. Thank you, Val.
Thank you, Rachel. Katie Wyatt, please.
I heard some Dutch word. Was that right? Dankjewel.
Yes.
Nice. So you're learning Dutch. Thank you.
Katie, please.
Hi, it's Katie from The Telegraph. My question is, what actually attracted you to applying for this role?
Well, first of all, England, of course, is the cradle of football. They've done really well. There's a great potential in England. Their structure has, they have developed the game very much. There's big organization behind it. They have this professional league. They have so many players. They're so talented. The facilities are great. So it's a real challenge to make the move. And with the Dutch, and I can finish with the Dutch, which was very important for me. So I was triggered when I started talking to Sue, actually.
Was there something that she said in particular that really grabbed your attention and made you think, this is a job for me?
Well, of course, I love the game. I have the nicest job you can think of. So, and when you work with very talented players, with people that are very ambitious, that's what I like very much. But when I got in touch with Sue, we got on the same level very quickly. She's a PE teacher too. And we talk about people and about the game and the involvement we have. we got on the same page very quickly.
And last one from me: are you going to move to England, or are you going to be more remote in the Netherlands?
Yeah, well, first of all, you have to do your job as good as you can. So that's the main thing. You have to perform. You have to do the things that are needed to improve, to develop. But the first thing, or in the first time, I'll be in England for half the time, and we'll have what's needed, and I will travel back and forth during the week or during some weeks, and then we'll figure out, is that going to work? Can you bring enough? Can you bring the quality you need to bring? So we evaluate that, and but my family stays here in the Netherlands, at least in the first period. Yeah.
Thank you, Katie. Glenn Moore?
Hello, Glenn Moore for World Soccer and the iNewspaper. Just to mention a couple of things. Obviously, you beat England very comfortably in 2017 in the semi-final in the Euros. How do you think England have progressed since then?
The England team, of course, the women's football worldwide is improving very much, and so does England, so does other countries. But I think the change or the transition England made was that at the Euros they played more the long ball, and after that they're trying to play more the possession game. So that's the biggest change I have seen over the last from 2017 to now.
Right, and your style, particularly in 2017, but also since, is very much in what we would regard as
just a little slower, Glenn, please.
Yeah, your style, especially in 2017, but also later, it's very much what we would regard as the traditional Dutch style. 4-3-3, wide player, fluid midfield. Do you see that style translating to the England players you will inherit in terms of how you're going to play, or will it require something slightly different?
Yeah. Well, first of all, the England has been playing very well. They have a very strong team already. And what I would like to do when I come in is to add something, and which the players are. They also believe in that too. So of course I follow the England team. We follow every team. But when I come in, I'll first, feel what are the players, how do they feel about some things I would like to add. But there's already a very good quality, and I would like to add. But it also has to do with who do you play. So we have some framework I would like to play in, which England already has improved very much. But then from this framework, add some things, and also take in account that you have an opponent, and some opponents are really strong also, but some opponents are a little less in quality than we are. So then you see some different things in the field, of course, because then you have possession a lot more than when you have to defend a little more.
And last one for me, very briefly, who were your coaching influences?
Oh, so many people. I've influenced of course Louis van Gaal, but also I worked with so many coaches that influenced me too. Some a little more in the game, in the tactical game. Some a little more in how you treat people, how you want to behave. And I'm always watching coaches. How do they behave, and how does it affect the players? So I can just say one or two coaches. It's you're just looking around all the time.
Thanks.
Thank you, Glenn. Could we go to Brian Swanson next, please?
Hello, Sarina. Brian Swanson here at Sky Sports News. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
Sarina, I'm just wondering, how is the dynamic going to work between you and Phil Neville in the next 13 months or so? And what would you say is the big key to your success? What are you bringing to England to try to win them that major trophy?
Well, you asked two questions in one question. Is that right?
It is, yeah. Sorry.
Okay, let's answer your first question. Well, of course, Phil has a responsibility for his team the upcoming 12 months, and I'll absolutely respect that. I'll get some information, but I'll be really at the background. And the last thing I would want to do is interfere his work. But of course, I will have a close look because I have. I'll jump in 2021. I have the responsibility of the Dutch national team, and that's my main focus. But I'll get some information, and maybe in the future, of course, there will be a transition when we switch from jobs, and then of course I'll talk a little closer to Phil. Did that answer your question good enough? Can I go to the next question?
Yeah, just to pick up on that, could there be any difficulties with that? So when will you decide to interfere?
No, I'm not going to interfere him at all.
Okay.
He has his responsibility. Of course, I don't want to interrupt him or being a pain for him. Yeah, well, mind my English, but you understand what I mean. He just needs to do his job good, and he needs to. Of course, he's responsible. So I'm not responsible yet. I'm responsible for the Dutch national team, upcoming 12 months.
Thank you, Brian.
Excellent. Thanks, Sarina.
Could we move now to Rob Harris, please?
Hi, Sarina. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, I'm Rob Harris from the Associated Press. Sorry if the background's making a bit jealous. It's Elizabeth at the Men's Champions League. Was there anything in particular in your interview that you said that you think helped convince the FA to give you the job? Did you guarantee you'd win the Euros, the World Cup, or is there something particularly you said that you think won the job for you?
Well, you should ask that question to Sue and Mark, I think. I just showed them who I am and how I work, and I tried to give them information about me. Well, you see me on TV sometimes, but you really don't know me. And what's important is that it's a good match, a match for me and a match for the FA. And if we would figure out that the match wouldn't be good enough, they should have chosen someone else, because I think that's what you should go for. And I really enjoyed the talks we had and the interviews we had, and I think that was the same for the FA. So, and I haven't been with any other interviews, so you should ask Mark or Sue.
And have you got a lot of plans for your staff? Are you going to change things in a way, bringing in lots of your own staff, different technical plans, different scouting structures or medical services? Is there going to be much changes in that regard?
Now, well, what I just said when I answered other questions, I think the England team has been growing so much over the years. So there's the fundament is there, the team. So I don't think they need very big changes. And for now, I've been working with the FA and signing my contract. And well, it might be an option to bring someone, but we haven't been getting through that yet. So we'll see in the future how things go. And so I can say anything more about that at the moment.
Thanks a lot, and good luck. Hopefully we're all face to face soon.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rob. Could we move now to Richard Laverty?
Hi, Sarina. Rich Laverty here from Our Game magazine. Welcome to England. I just wondered, how much of an attraction was it in the job, looking at the 4 years that you'll be here, the amount of talented young players that are coming through the England system that you will get the chance to work with and develop?
Yeah, I think that the depth in the women's game in England is great. They have so many good players and so many youngsters. Of course, I saw some in the World Cup under-20 in 2018. And of course, there's even younger players coming in. Within the future, of course, I will get more and more information about these youngsters, because I see more the senior team and some other players are just below that team. So I get I get more information about that over the upcoming months, to get into that a little bit. Just in the background, just what I said.
Yeah, and
there's great potential. I just said there's a real great potential, and the structure and the competition and the player pathway. I think that's very well.
Yeah, and looking at the current first team players, obviously we've got more players than ever now playing around Europe in top teams, and that was something in the Netherlands you really benefited from, your players going and playing in England or in France or in Germany. Is that something, when you are the head coach, that you would encourage more players to look at opportunities playing abroad, or would you prefer them to be playing in the Women's Super League, obviously closer to where you can watch them?
Well, I think that you're talking about two different situations. In the Netherlands, our competition is still developing very much, and we have some teams that have improved so much or have developed so much that they can have a full professional job. But we also have some teams that don't have a full professional, in which the players don't have a full professional job. So I think the England competition, as everyone can see, is a very high standard, world-class competition in which players want to play. But I always think, as a coach, you're not telling players what to do. They have their questions. They have opportunities to play at good clubs, and it's their career. It's their life. If they would talk to me, I just would ask them the question: okay, where do you think you could develop the most, and how could I help, or what would benefit you the most? And if that's we know England has very strong competition. So it's very good to play in the England competition. But you see in Europe that much more competitions are improving very much, and it's going pretty quick.
Thanks, Sarina.
Thank you, Richard. Could we go to Emma Sanders at the BBC?
Hi, Sarina. Yeah, Emma Sanders from BBC Sport. Hope you're well. Just a quick one from me. A lot of people, as Sue mentioned before, they've said that this has been one of the most sort of highly sought after England jobs for a while. Do you think that the jobs, this England role that you've got now is one of the best in the world in women's football and one of the most exciting?
I'm not sure if I really understand your question. You're saying that I'm now in the role that's the most exciting? Or?
Yeah, as England women's manager, do you think that's one of the best jobs in the world in women's football?
I definitely think. I just said I love my job. 10 years ago, there was no opportunity for me to be a professional coach, and look where I am right now. And with the Netherlands, we have had a great journey so far, and I'm very happy that I have been the coach of the Dutch national team, and I'm very happy that we can play the Olympics. But I think that when I can work after that with the England team, that's a world-class team and a world-class situation I'm in. And I'm very happy, as I said, and honored that I can be part of that, and I can bring my experience and knowledge to the team. And yes, that's a world-class appointment.
Thanks, Sarina.
Thank you, Emma. Paul McInnes next, please.
Hi, Sarina. Paul McInnes from The Guardian here. I'm just wondering, with the introductions, talked about how the aim is to win an international tournament. Do you think you will only be judged a success as England manager if you win something?
Well, that depends on how you play also, I think. The England has a very good, we just mentioned that a couple of times, very good team, and in potential they have such a good team that we can win tournaments. But you always have to deal with things you can't control. But everything that's in our control, that we will influence in a good way. At least we try to influence in the way we want to. But you also have to deal with other countries who are developing very much too. So, you can't say, and that's the really nice thing about sports, you cannot say ahead, we're going to win this, we're going to do this. You have a dream, you have ambition, that's where you're going for. And you do everything what's in your power to get that, to reach the highest performance. And if you play the best game you can play, then I always say, then it's okay. And if, there could be a final, which you hopefully win, but you could lose also. Then you evaluate, okay, did we play the best game we can play? That's the question for me.
Have you agreed a set of performance targets with the FA?
Yes, we have, of course. Yes. Well, the English is a world-class team, as we just said. The last 3 tournaments, they made it through the semi-finals. And as we saw at the World Cup last year, it was so close to getting to the final. So, yes, of course we have to perform well.
Thank you very much, Sarina. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. Could we go to Ian Herbert, please?
Thanks very much, Wendy. Hi to you, Sarina. Ian Herbert from the Daily Mail and the Mail on Sunday. I think we saw in France last summer the gulf between England and the USA when it came down to it. Because obviously they've got a huge head start over everyone else in terms of the sport being so wealthy and rich. Is it realistic to think that they can be defeated at an international tournament by the time of the next World Cup?
Yeah, I think so. I think of course, the history of the US is awesome, is really great. But I think other countries can beat them. I think that was your question, right? Did I?
Yeah.
And it's one game, and in Europe the game is improving so much that I think we get closer and closer, and the US knows that too. So they have to improve their game too. And I think other countries, not only England, but also with the Dutch, but the France and Germany is getting back there too. Sweden has done really well. I think Spain is developing. So I think countries are getting closer and closer to each other.
Thank you. And can I just ask you one more? One of the things that I think many of us remember from the tournament last summer was the huge Dutch following, the kind of thousands and thousands of fans. And really, I think that's probably something that is a far greater following than I think England would probably have expected. Why is the Netherlands so far ahead of England in terms of the popular support, the thousands who will follow the women's team?
Well, I'm not sure if the Dutch is so far ahead. That's what you say. But I don't know. I'll experience that next year. But I think the main thing is that we did so well at the Euros in 2017. And at that point, we said we have the chance in our own country to show everyone how good we can play the game. And of course, winning helps. If you do so, but you get kicked out of the tournament in the group stage, then you don't get all these followers. But we got the people so enthusiastic because we were open. We showed that we were working hard. We were close to the fans. We just behaved. I always say we behave normal. Just act normal. Behave with respect to other people. And I think that can make a difference. Just work hard, respect each other, and play the best game you can play. And it sounds easy. That's hard work.
Okay. Thanks very much indeed. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Ian. Helen Summers next, please. Helen there? Okay, we'll go to Molly Hudson, please.
Hi, Sarina. It's Molly from The Times.
Hi.
I just wanted to ask you about there's been a lot of Dutch players that have played in the Women's Super League and have done really well over here. Obviously, you've been watching those progress in your current role. What have you made of the standard in the Women's Super League and also the England internationals that you've seen when you've watched the Dutch players?
Yeah. Well, what I see in England is they all have these full pro programs and they have so many facilities. So you see players develop very much, and which is really good to see. So they're like top athletes. And you see the game is getting quicker. You also saw international. We saw it at the World Cup, but also in the England game, it's quicker. It's so much power, and some teams have this possession game, which is really good. And some teams are getting there, getting closer, trying to get that. So, yeah, then you see English players develop, but you also see the Dutch players develop, and players from other countries, of course. Every player develops.
And you mentioned there that England have come quite close in recent tournaments, and obviously you managed to make that big step with the Netherlands and win the title. Is there something that you look at in a team that has very quality players but needs that extra push? What is it that made Holland win that tournament where we've maybe fallen a little bit short?
Yeah, well, I can only talk about, in this case, about the Dutch, because I've been working with the Dutch team and I'm very close to the players and with my staff, of course. But what the team from actually in 2007, we got this top competition in the Netherlands. And from then, players got better facilities, more training, coaches, all those things. And players started to develop. And then we needed to go through this we call it the roof. Get to the roof that we believe that we can win, we can beat top countries. And while players were telling, "Oh, this player is so good, and from that country, this is so good," I told them, "Well, they're good, but they must be lucky to play with you because you're really good too." And then you need a win against a very good team, and that's what happened over those months before the Euros. And so that everyone started to believe we could do really well. And then it helps, of course, when you win an openings game against Norway in the 2017, then it starts to grow. So it's all preparations, about belief. And it's also, of course, you always need a little bit of luck too.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Molly. Could I ask that we now have the last few questions, please? So please don't raise your hand if you haven't already, and I'll try to get through everyone that's remaining. So Tom Hamilton next, please.
Tom Hamilton here from ESPN. Congratulations. I'm just wondering, did you speak to anyone before you accepted the job? Did you give anyone a call for advice at all, or sort of like the inside scoop on what it's actually like coaching England? Was that ever a consideration for you?
Well, I always speak to people around me who know me. And of course, we have some players that play in England and talk to England players. So over the years, sometimes you hear something about the things. But inside of the federation, I didn't talk to anyone except the ones I talked to about the job. And then I'm just talking about the people around me and people that have experience with working abroad and all those things, and who know me. And just, I'm honest in when I speak to people, and I felt that the people I talked to at the FA were very honest to me too. So
fantastic. And have you spoken to any of the players yet? Joined any sort of player WhatsApp groups or anything, or are you sticking away from that for a little bit?
You mean the English players?
Yeah, the English players, yeah.
No. This is I haven't started yet. That wouldn't be fair, and I wouldn't be polite either. So no, absolutely not.
Thank you very much, Tom. Could I go to Isabel Barker next, please?
Hi, Sarina. Thank you for your time. Just looking at your kind of own coaching journey and your remarkable track record, I noticed that in 2016 you became the first woman in the Netherlands to coach a men's professional side when you joined the staff at Sparta Rotterdam. That would be something quite unique and remarkable in England. I just wondered how that has shaped you as a coach.
Yeah, well, it started with an internship. I did the UEFA Pro, and I did my internship with Sparta. So we just, in the beginning, we had to use to each other because they were not used in having a woman in the group, and I was all with all these men. And, it influenced me. It was good to be in such an environment, to see what do they do? Do they do things different than we do with women? And of course, a woman is different than a man, but in the game and the tactics and the techniques are the same. The speed of the game is a little higher. But when you're a professional and you just, I knew that when I get the opportunity to train or to do a drill, that I just need to deliver, and I need to show that I'm a good coach. And that's what I've been working on all the time. Work hard and deliver when it's needed, and then you get respect. So after that, I was just for a couple of months. I did the job because they needed someone, and I because in the women's game earlier we didn't have all the facilities, so I can do some things with the computer and the video things, and so you're a little like how do you say? You can do all things a little bit. So
Thank you so much. Good luck. Cheers.
Okay.
Thank you, Isabel. Last three questions now. We'll go to Peter Lansley, please. Peter?
Hi, thank you. Hello, Sarina. I'm Pete Lansley from the University of Derby's Football Journalism degree course. Next summer, would your dream scenario be to be in the Olympic final against Great Britain? And if so, would there be any conflict of interests? Because it would be such a great start with your new employers to win, but you want your own team to win.
Yeah, well, at that point, I would be really happy to get to the final. So we have a gold or a silver medal. And I'm then in charge of the Netherlands, and I will do everything to win that game with my team. And that's sport, that's a part of it, and it would be very special because also for the players, because we have some players that play in England and know England players or Great Britain players very well. So I would say it was special, but still it's a game, and yes, we want to win every game we play.
So no conflict of interest if you got there?
No, not at all.
Okay, great. Thank you very much and good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. Dan Kilpatrick again. Thank you.
Hi, me again from the Evening Standard. Sarina, I'm just wondering, will you have any say in picking Great Britain's Olympics coach?
What do you mean?
Be involved in that decision of who coaches the Great Britain side. Will you be involved in the decision?
For next summer, is the question?
Yeah.
No, I'm not in charge.
Can I step in there, Dan? That would be obviously the responsibility for Sue Campbell. Sarina wouldn't be involved in that decision.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Dan. And last question, Katie Wyatt.
No, sorry, I meant to take my hand down. I don't know why it's still raised.
Oh, okay. Oh,
you want to try and come up with something on the spot?
No, you're absolutely fine, Katie. Thank you very much. Okay, if no one has a final question for Sarina, I think we shall conclude this part of the press conference.
I think George from PA has got his hand up. Well, that's what I can see on my screen anyway.
I don't see any more hands up. I'm just going to give one more look.
On the video rather than the actual thing.
I don't have anyone else with a hand up.
He's waving his hand, Wendy.
Hi, Wendy.
It's not showing for me.
Quick one to Sarina.
Peter, you have a question, please, for Sarina.
Hi, Sarina. It's George from PA here. Good luck in the role. I just wanted to quickly ask you if before you sort of got into the England process in terms of that job, if you had any other offers from women's teams or potentially men's teams that you were considering before the England role come up?
Well, actually, there has been some interest after the Euros. But when you perform well with a team, of course, some parties get interested. But I always felt the urge to stay with the Dutch national team because we were on such a good journey, and my dream was, playing the Olympics. We had the Euros, the World Cup, and now the Olympics. So there was for me no urge to leave before that. I would like, as I said last week, I would really like to finish in style with the Dutch national team.
I guess just to follow up finally on that, is kind of the England women's job in 2021 kind of the only really job you probably would have taken, do you think, from that point of view?
Well, actually, that's not relevant at all. I'm really happy that I will be the English coach, and it's a great opportunity. So that's what relevant at this moment.
I know more in terms of whenever you was going to finish your cycle with the Netherlands next year, is the England women's job arguably the best job that, the only job that you would have really been interested in for when you did finish with the Netherlands?
Well, as I just said, that wasn't relevant. I've never come to that situation. So now the situation occurred that now I got in touch with the England FA, with the FA. So I haven't been thinking about that.
Thank you.
Thank you, George. Okay, as far as I can see, we're finished with all the questions for this section of the media conference. So I'd like to thank everyone for taking part in this. And if you're a broadcaster who has arranged already, there was one more hand, a late hand, from Jen O'Neill. We'll take that question, Jen.
Hi, Sarina. Jen O'Neill from She Kicks here. Sue Campbell described you as steely. Are the English players ready for your honest approach?
Mm-hmm. Oh, sorry. I thought it was well, I didn't know the word steely, but I understand it. That's that I would like to win all the games. That's what it means, right?
Okay, and are they ready for you to speak plainly and honestly in judging their performances?
Are they ready? I'm
yes.
sorry.
I think Dutch people are known to be very plain and honest in the way that they speak to people. Do you think the England players are ready for you to speak to them and be very honest like that?
Well, that's my job. So sometimes you have a good message, and sometimes you have a message that a person really doesn't like to hear, but it's part of your job. So what the main thing is that you need to communicate, and that you need to explain things, and you decide at what time you explain things, so they can get the context and they know what they could work on and who they're competing with for a certain position. So I think, you have to be honest, and you have to give information. You have to decide as part of your job, and then, you have to take care of players, and you have to communicate with players.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jen. Okay, we will wrap that up for this section of the press conference. So thank you all for attending. If you have a one-to-one as a broadcaster that's already booked in with us, we'll commence those shortly. And thank you again from us all, I hope, to KNVB and our colleagues in the Netherlands for being so accommodating and courteous to set this up for us. So thank you very much. Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Very much.